What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it looks like Hollywood is in a bit of a panic. They're realizing that the disposability of streaming services like Netflix, HBO Max, and Disney Plus isn't exactly a good thing for them, and I would guess that customers can expect, at least sooner than later, longer, more difficult to get out of contracts as massive numbers of customers dip in and dip out for the one or two programs that a platform actually puts out that's worth paying for. This via the LA Times saying that HBO Max and Disney Plus are struggling with churn, that nearly 60% of people are watching one service and dropping it. Because services are so easy to cancel, they're seeing a lot of people leave. Another recent survey found that 46% of respondents canceled at least one in the last year, and that's not all the survey found. This, again, via the LA Times. Say you sign up to watch HBO Max's The Flight Attendant. The 8-episode season concludes when you browse for your next binge viewing fix. Maybe you turn on Wonder Woman 1984, I don't know why you would, or rewatch The Sopranos. How long before you go to Apple device subscription tab and drop $15 a month on an app? A week, a month, a week, a day. That's the issue facing media and the entertainment companies as battle for streaming audiences settles into a new phase. During 2019 and 2020, studios launched Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock, Apple TV, Discovery Plus, and others, all betting on original exclusive programming to draw in users. The lockdowns have been a boon for the streaming industry as movie theaters, concert venues, and sports arenas continue to suffer. Now, this is something that anybody with half a brain could have seen coming. The fact that the product offering by any one of these services is getting so watered down that you're literally paying $15 a month to watch one, maybe two shows, and people just don't see the value in that very often, at least long term. People go months without logging into their Netflix before waking up one day and realizing that they've wasted $45 and they cancel the service, rightfully so. Or maybe they put together a little program about kids that you don't like, and then you cancel them for that reason. According to a recent survey, 46% of respondents canceled at least one streaming service in the last year. That's a dramatic increase from the 20% who said in a similar January survey that they'd canceled a service. Of the people surveyed who canceled a streaming service, 62% did so because they finished the show or movie that they had signed up to see in the first place. That's exactly what's happening. We can look at Netflix, for example. Netflix losing 1 billion hours worth of content. This is a direct hit to the bottom line of these streaming services. By the way, now we are over 40% of my viewers that are not subscribed that currently watch my videos. If you're able to, and I hope today is the day that I earn it, there's a red subscribe button right down in the lower corner of this video. Please consider clicking that to support the channel. Get notified sometimes when I upload and show YouTube that my channel maybe isn't dead. Now, it's a big loss for Netflix. The US subscribers streamed 57.1 billion minutes of sitcoms last year, according to Nielsen. While it's a big, they lost some valuable rights. They lost The Office, that can no longer stream. They'll have to subscribe to Comcast's Peacock in order to catch Michael Scott's antics. That's a big loss for Netflix. US subscribers streamed nearly 60 billion minutes of that one show last year. 1 billion hours gone. And this is what the top shows on Netflix were: The Office, Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds, Ozark, NCIS, Supernatural, Lucifer, Shameless. Shameless? I'm surprised that's on Netflix. I thought that'd be on HBO Max. I'm sure that is by now. Why Netflix could certainly while they could stomach losing some of its content in a vacuum, the reality is The Office and other top content are going to competitors. As mentioned, the most streamed series of 2020 is now on Peacock. Additionally, Disney pulled its films from Netflix over the last few years in preparation for Disney Plus. Disney's already showing off the strength of its library and its ability to attract subscribers and engagement. It has 87 million global subscribers as of last month, which shows like The Mandalorian, a big reason why. Disney's success with original series and films may be more a product of excellent marketing and messaging around Disney Plus. Well before the public knew about Baby Yoda, they had huge numbers. The ability to get a series like The Mandalorian in front of an audience may have been more instrumental in making it popular than the content itself, meaning they had already signed up, so they had to watch something. The data suggests it's becoming harder for media and entertainment companies to retain subscribers as competition increases. Kevin Westcott of the U.S. Tech Media and Telecom said in an interview, with so many services available, having exclusive content alone isn't enough to keep people on board. Well, I think that while it's certainly partly because of competition, I don't think there's any denying that it's also a gross or a significant decrease in the quality of product that somebody like Netflix has. And how many times are you going to rewatch the Star Wars movie on Disney Plus before you decide you want to dip out? Top services have indeed kept their focus on growing their catalogs of movies and shows. Netflix, which reports quarterly earnings this afternoon, so we'll have a video later today on that, unveiled a 70-movie schedule for 2021 to help keeping things up, with Disney Plus ramping things up as well. Ultimately, it was reported that 60% of respondents saying that they use an ad-supported service in October, up just from 40% of those who dropped a streaming subscription. 23% said they did so because they could find the content they wanted to watch on a free ad-based video on-demand app, up 14% from those who said they did in a May survey. The one thing consumers have told us over and over is I won't pay more than I used to pay for linear television, Westcott said, referring to the cable and satellite television bundles to which people's streaming services were supposed to be a cost-effective alternative. People are finding that ad-supported platforms have good content. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to start to see a lot of people either cut the streaming cord. First, it was cut the cord, getting rid of cable, because bills had inflated to, $100 or even $200 here in the United States for a lot of people. But ultimately, you look at, I have 1,000 channels, of which I watch 2. This is great. This is why I'll just get Hulu, because all the programs I watch are on Hulu for $15 a month. It's such a no-brainer. But then, after a year when Hulu used to be good, now it's like all that's left on Hulu is, garbage for the most part. All the high profile shows that you want to watch are on some other exclusive network, and people are reaching the end of their rope in terms of things that they want to pay for. Ultimately, if you have Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, Peacock, you're up to almost $70, $80 a month, depending on which programs, which packages you have on each one of the channels. So ultimately, you're going to see a lot of churn. And if you have a network or a service like Netflix, for example, where a couple of times a year they have really important content releases, I also think this is going to lead to more people doing what Disney Plus does with the weekly episodic releases versus the binge, because the binge allows people to say, if they're waiting around all year for let's say Stranger Things, they can watch the whole thing in a weekend and then cancel Netflix. And ultimately, if Netflix isn't putting together anything worthwhile to watch, then that's exactly what they do. They binge their show. Maybe they steal another month out of them because they're not paying attention, but ultimately they cancel it. And really what Netflix is doing with their original programming is garbage. Disney Plus, they're obviously doubling and tripling down, but honestly, it's kind of in a limited capacity. It's just Marvel and Star Wars for the most part. Now, obviously, their movies will appear there too, which is a big advantage for them. Similarly, with HBO Max, they'll have Warner Brothers type movies that appear there. There's even that, like the Little Things or something, that new Denzel Washington movie that I saw, and I was like, yeah, that looks like it'd be all right. I see it's on. I wouldn't see it in the theater, but I see it's on HBO Max, which I get because I had HBO anyway. So it's a win-win for me. But ultimately, I think that we've reached a point of saturation with streaming services, and this is some really high numbers. I mean, 60% cancellation rate is extraordinarily high. I mean, it's significantly higher than I would have thought. Now, it's only a survey of 1,100 people, but 46% of people canceling at least one service in the last year. That's more than double of what it was the same time. And then 62 said they did that because they finished a show. So 62% of the 46% said that they were basically one show watchers, which a lot of people are. And, you know, it's like you look at that Disney Plus subscription month in and month out now, and you're like, well, I've got to wait another 11 months to see The Mandalorian. Do I want to keep paying Disney $8 a month or whatever it is, $10 a month? Or do I just dip out and then log back on in a year? I think you're going to see these services go to the old cable model where they're going to start locking people into long-term contracts, and they're going to outgreed themselves, and people are going to just go back to cable. After all, I mean, for $60 a month, you can get a decent cable package. Yeah, you got to watch commercials every now and again. But if you watch Hulu, a lot of the programs that I watch on Hulu still have commercials in them anyway, unless there's some obscure show off the Discovery Channel or something like that, or Investigation Discovery, some random crime drama doesn't have them. But good. I knew this was going to happen. Their greed is getting the best of them, and they're watering down the product, and people are just tuning out, which to me is a good thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.